that mass and energy are both but different manifestations of the same thing, a somewhat unfamiliar conception for the average mind. Furthermore, the equation E is equal mc squared, in which energy is thought equal to mass multiplied with the square of the velocity of light, showed that very small amount of mass may be converted into a very large amount of energy, and vice versa.
Stop scrolling. This video will be banned in 24 hours. What you're seeing was classified for 70 years. The US government spent $20 million hiding this from you. Telekinesis is real. In the next 6 minutes, you'll master the exact technique that moves objects with pure intention. By the end of this video, you'll never look at reality the same way again. Opportunities will start appearing like they're magnetically drawn to you. Because once you activate these abilities, everything changes. And the evidence is overwhelming. The CIA ran a $20 million program called Stargate with an 85% success rate. Princeton conducted 2.5 million trials that prove consciousness affects matter. And right now, Silicon Valley billionaires are using these exact methods. But here's what they don't want you to know. Albert Einstein discovered this secret first. He said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," because he understood that consciousness shapes reality at the quantum level. Einstein's hidden research proves mind controls matter. His private notebooks, released by Hebrew University in 2006, contain over 300 pages of consciousness research. Einstein wrote, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." He knew time and space bend to consciousness. But Einstein spent his final 30 years searching for a unified field theory. What he was really looking for was the connection between consciousness and physical reality. His classified journals reveal experiments with thought-based reality manipulation. They buried his consciousness research after his death. But then Rupert Sheldrake, Cambridge-trained biologist, cracked Einstein's code. Sheldrake discovered the breakthrough that changes everything. Sheldrake proved that when one person learns a skill, it becomes easier for others to learn the same skill. His morphic resonance experiments show consciousness creates templates that spread through the species. It's like when one athlete breaks a world record. Suddenly everyone can run faster. Before 1954, doctors said running a 4-minute mile was impossible. The human body simply couldn't do it. Then Roger Bannister did it once. But here's the weird part. Within 1 year, 37 other people suddenly could do it too. The only thing that changed was the consciousness template. But Sheldrake's TED Talk was banned because it threatened the materialist paradigm. They don't want you to know that consciousness creates invisible blueprints that make abilities spread like wildfire. Here's the breakthrough that terrifies them. As more people develop telekinesis, it becomes easier for everyone to develop telekinesis. You're not just learning an ability, you're accessing a morphic field that thousands have already strengthened. The network effect of consciousness awakening. But your brain generates 20 watts of electrical power. Your heart's electromagnetic field is 60 times stronger than your brain's. Your cells contain 37 trillion biological batteries. So why can't you move objects? Because they've programmed you to believe consciousness is weak. They profit from your limitations. They need you powerless, but not anymore. Einstein's 4 unified field protocols, hidden for 80 years. Step 1. Weaponize scattered attention into reality-piercing focus. Step 2. Activate dormant bioelectric systems. Step 3. Program matter using consciousness blueprints. Step 4. Access unified field where mind and matter merge. Warning. This knowledge is dangerous to the establishment. Videos teaching these methods get deleted. Researchers are silenced. Evidence is buried. You have 6 minutes before you lose this forever. But here's another fact that blew my mind. Sheldrake tested this with lab rats. Rats in London learned a maze. Then rats in New York, who had never seen that maze in London, learned it 3 times faster. No physical connection, just consciousness sharing information. That means your mind is connected to everyone else's mind. So why can't you move objects yet? Because they've been blocking your signal. Right now, scientists have proven something that sounds impossible. Watching something actually changes it. Think about it like this. You know how your phone camera changes, how people act when they know they're being filmed. Well, scientists discovered that even atoms act differently when they're being watched. So if atoms respond to observation, why wouldn't larger objects? It's been proven many times in quantum science. Consciousness creates reality. Observer effect proves particles exist in multiple states until conscious observation collapses them into one reality. You're not watching the universe, you're creating it. But here's an even crazier example. You know how sometimes you know who's calling before you check your phone? That's not a coincidence. Princeton University studied this for 30 years and found it happens way more than random chance. Your brain is literally receiving information from the future. Einstein knew consciousness could affect things instantly, no matter how far away they were. But think about things that already happen in your life. You've walked up to an elevator and it arrived without you pressing the button. That's your consciousness affecting electronic systems. You've manifested perfect parking spaces by strongly intending to find one. That's consciousness influencing probability. Some people make electronics malfunction just by being around them. That's bioelectric fields affecting machines. People with green thumbs aren't just good at gardening. Plants literally grow better around their positive energy. You're already doing mini telekinesis every day. But here's proof this is spreading. You know how suddenly everyone knew how to use smartphones? Nobody taught grandparents how to FaceTime, but somehow they figured it out. That's morphic resonance in action. Same thing happened with nobody taught people how to scroll through feeds, but everyone instantly knew. Teenagers developed thumb typing skills that didn't exist before. Kids today master complex games faster than kids from the 80s. People navigate websites intuitively without instruction manuals. Collective learning is accelerating everything. But why do billionaires meditate? It's not for relaxation. It's because they know something you don't. Steve Jobs used meditation to download product ideas. The iPhone design came to him during meditation, not in a meeting. Jeff Bezos makes major business decisions based on gut feelings. That's accessing information through consciousness fields. They're using your hidden abilities to get rich and let you think they did it all alone. But here's how they keep you powerless. First, they destroy attention. Your phone is designed to ping you every 6 minutes. That's not random, it's specifically designed to prevent sustained focus. Then they program fear. News media keeps you in constant fear because fear shrinks your subconsciousness. Scared people can't access psychic abilities. Distraction overload. Social media fragments your attention into tiny pieces. But telekinesis requires laser focus for at least 30 seconds straight. They've turned your brain into a broken radio. But tonight you're going to fix that with these 4 simple steps. Step 1. Focus your scattered attention like a laser beam, just like staring at your crush in high school. Step 2. Turn on your body's electricity. You'll literally feel energy flowing through your hands. Step 3. Use your imagination like a 3D printer for reality. Visualize what you want to happen. Step 4. Connect to the consciousness Wi-Fi network. Realize you and the object are connected. It's like learning to ride a bike. Once you get it, you never forget. Your mind right now is like having 50 browser tabs open. Everything runs slow and nothing works properly. But when you close all the tabs except one, suddenly everything runs perfectly. That's what focused attention does to your psychic abilities. Think about when you're really into a Netflix show. You don't hear anything else. You don't notice time passing. You're completely absorbed. That's the same mental state that moves objects. Your body is like a smartphone. It's constantly generating electrical energy. But just like your phone, you need to learn how to direct that energy to specific apps. You know how some people's phones always die faster, and others seem to have phones that last forever? Same phone, different energy patterns. Your consciousness controls your body's energy the same way. Learn to manage your energy. Learn to move objects. But here's what's really incredible about this. You know how you can see your house in your mind right now? Close your eyes for a second and picture your bedroom. You can see the color of your walls, where your bed is positioned, even that pile of clothes on the chair. Now picture your kitchen. You can visualize opening the refrigerator, see exactly what's on each shelf. That's not just memory. That's your consciousness creating detailed three-dimensional holographic models in real time. Your brain is running a sophisticated virtual reality program that's more advanced than any technology on Earth. Your imagination is like virtual reality for the universe. That's your consciousness programming reality, like a 3D printer. Take Marcus from Denver, for example. He'd been single for 3 years, convinced he'd never find someone who really understood him. He started visualizing his ideal relationship with the same clarity you use to picture your living room. He could see himself cooking dinner with his future partner, laughing at inside jokes, feeling that deep connection when they looked into each other's eyes. He made it so real in his mind that he could practically feel her hand in his, hear her laugh, even smell her perfume. 2 weeks later, he literally bumped into someone at a coffee shop. Someone who looked exactly like the person he'd been visualizing. They've been inseparable ever since. The universe responds to detailed blueprints, but it goes deeper than just career or relationships. Jennifer from Seattle had been struggling with chronic fatigue for years. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. She started visualizing her body's energy systems like a power grid, seeing electricity flowing smoothly through every cell. She'd picture herself waking up refreshed, bouncing out of bed with enthusiasm, having energy that lasted all day long. She made her visualizations so detailed, she could feel the vibrant energy pulsing through her arms, her legs, even her fingertips tingling with life force. Her energy levels started improving within days. Within a month, she felt better than she had in years. Her doctors were baffled, but she knew exactly what had happened. She'd reprogrammed her body's energy systems through conscious visualization. This is why billionaires hire visualization coaches, why Olympic athletes spend more time training their minds than their bodies, why ancient temples had entire chambers dedicated to dream incubation, systematic visualization that manifested desired outcomes. They understand that your imagination isn't just entertainment, it's a reality construction tool. When you visualize something with the same clarity and detail you use to picture familiar places, you're literally broadcasting instructions to the quantum field that creates your experience. When you visualize something clearly enough, the universe treats it like a blueprint. It's like showing a builder the exact house you want. They can build it because they know exactly what you're asking for. But most people's visualizations fail because they're vague and unfocused. They daydream about being successful or finding love without any specific details. That's like giving a contractor a napkin sketch and expecting them to build your dream house. The universe needs specifics. What does your ideal morning routine look like? How does it feel to check your bank account and see exactly the number you want? What does your voice sound like when you're speaking with total confidence to a room full of people who respect your expertise? The more specific your visualization, the more precisely reality responds. And here's the beautiful part. You already have this technology installed in your brain. You've been using it your entire life to navigate the world, to remember places, to plan your day. You just never realized you could point it toward your future instead of your past. You're about to learn how to aim that power deliberately. You know how when you're really into a video game, you forget you're holding a controller. You feel like you are the character moving around. The boundary between you and the game disappears. That's exactly what happens with telekinesis. When you stop feeling separate from the object and start feeling connected to it, Moving it becomes as natural as moving your own hand in the game. You don't move the object. You and the object move together. But tonight, you're going to prove Einstein right using stuff you already have at home. First, grab any small object. A pen, a piece of paper, anything light. Stare at it for 30 seconds like you're trying to memorize every detail. Feel the energy, put your hands near it and feel the space between. Visualize movement. See it moving in your mind like a movie. Connect. Stop thinking me moving it and start thinking we're moving together. 5 minutes, that's it. Einstein spent 30 years trying to understand this. Sheldrake spent 40 years proving it, but you can experience it in the next 5 minutes because they did all the hard work first. But the most important thing? Whether you move the object tonight or next week doesn't matter. What matters is that you start, because once you begin, you're connected to the morphic field of everyone who's ever done this before. Einstein said, the most important question is the universe friendly? The answer is yes, but only when you remember you're not separate from it. But there's more evidence that consciousness affects reality in ways that should be impossible. Random number generators consistently deviate from randomness when humans focus intention on them. And casino security knows this. That's why they watch for psychic hot streaks and will quietly ask certain players to leave when the odds start defying mathematics. But here's one that'll really blow your mind. Emergency room doctors know about something called the Friday night effect. Trauma cases spike dramatically on weekend nights. But here's the weird part. They spike in patterns that seem to follow collective human emotional states. For example, when a major sports team loses a championship game, hospital admissions for heart attacks increase by 15% in that city within 24 hours. Or when a beloved celebrity dies, death rates jump globally within days. Or like when positive news breaks, like a royal wedding or Olympic victory, birth rates actually increase 9 months later. This proves that collective human consciousness creates measurable ripple effects throughout society. And traffic engineers have discovered something similar. Some intersections have inexplicably higher accident rates, despite identical design and traffic patterns. When they investigated, they found these locations often had histories of negative events, fatal crashes, violent crimes, traumatic incidents. It's as if the concentrated negative emotion created an accident-prone field that influences driver behavior decades later. This means that consciousness even imprints itself on physical locations. Real estate agents know this intuitively. Houses where happy families lived for generations sell faster and for higher prices than identical houses with histories of divorce, illness, or tragedy. Buyers can literally feel the difference when they walk through the door, even with no knowledge of the property's history. Emotional energy lingers in physical spaces. But perhaps the most documented example is what meteorologists quietly call weather sensitivity. There are certain individuals who consistently experience weather changes 24 to 48 hours before official instruments detect them. Their bodies are so sensitive to electromagnetic field fluctuations that they're essentially human barometers. And storm chasers often follow these weather sensitives because they're more accurate than satellite data. One woman in Kansas has correctly predicted the path of tornadoes for over 20 years with 94% accuracy, better than the National Weather Service. Some people's consciousness is so coherent, they're tuned into planetary energy systems. Airlines have similar data about certain pilots. Some consistently experience less turbulence, fewer mechanical issues, and better weather conditions than statistical averages would predict. Other pilots specifically request to fly with them because flights just seem to go smoother. Consciousness creates a field of beneficial probability. But my favorite example is what happens in professional poker. The best players aren't just skilled at reading cards and people. They're unconsciously reading probability fields. They can sense when the deck is hot or cold in ways that defy mathematical explanation. Daniel Negreanu, one of the world's top poker players, openly talks about feeling the next card before it's dealt. He's won over $40 million by trusting these intuitive hits that consistently beat pure mathematical strategy. Expert players are reading the consciousness field of the game itself. Wall Street traders know about this too. The most successful ones trust their gut feelings about market movements more than their analytical models. They're unconsciously picking up on the collective emotional state of millions of investors and translating that into trading decisions. The market moves based on collective human psychology, and some people can feel those movements before they happen. But here's what all these examples prove. Consciousness isn't locked inside your skull. It's a field that extends beyond your body and interacts with everything around you: machines, plants, other people, even weather systems, and probability patterns. Once you understand this, moving a feather with your mind doesn't seem impossible anymore. It's just another example of consciousness influencing matter, something that's happening around you constantly, whether you're aware of it or not. The only difference is learning to do it deliberately. Focus is the ultimate weapon. But why should you care about focus when you just want to move objects? Because here's what nobody tells you. Telekinesis isn't about mysterious psychic powers. It's about concentration so intense, it creates measurable electromagnetic fields. Every focused force in nature breaks through barriers that scattered force can't touch. Think about a laser beam. Scattered light from a flashlight can't even warm your hand, but focus that same light into a laser, and it cuts through 6-inch steel like butter. The light didn't get stronger, it just got concentrated. That's exactly what's happening to your consciousness right now. Your scattered thoughts bouncing around all day have zero reality-shaping power. But concentrate that same mental energy into laser focus for just 30 seconds, and it becomes strong enough to affect physical objects. The science proves this is real. A sniper can eliminate a target from 2 miles away using nothing but trained attention. Not superhuman strength, not special equipment. Just the ability to focus completely on one point while ignoring everything else. If focused attention can guide a bullet across 2 miles, why can't it move a feather across 2 inches? But here's the problem with your current focus ability. You can't even stare at one thing for 30 seconds without your mind wandering. Your attention span is 8.25 seconds, literally shorter than a goldfish. You have 70,000 thoughts per day, but 95% are repetitive mental noise. Your psychic power is like trying to start a fire with wet matches. But while you're scrolling through social media every 6 seconds, the elite are building supernatural concentration abilities. Navy SEALs train focus for 4 hours daily, because concentrated attention can mean the difference between life and death in combat. Olympic athletes spend 6 hours on mental focus for every hour of physical training, because they know championships are won in the mind first. They understand that reality bends to concentrated consciousness. But here's what happens when you actually develop laser focus. MIT brain scans show that 40 hours of concentration training literally rewires your neural architecture. You're not just getting better at paying attention, you're upgrading your consciousness hardware. Focused minds generate electromagnetic fields detectable 8 feet from their bodies. The HeartMath Institute proved that when you achieve true concentration, your brain and heart synchronize to create coherent bioelectric patterns. These aren't just thoughts anymore. They're measurable energy fields broadcasting into physical space. Your concentrated consciousness becomes a biological Wi-Fi signal that reality responds to. But here's why this matters for moving objects. When you stare at something with complete focus, you're not just looking at it. You're creating an electromagnetic bridge between your consciousness and that object. Ancient masters knew this secret. That's why every telekinesis technique in history starts with sustained, unwavering attention. Focus is the delivery system for psychic power. Without it, you're just wishfully thinking about objects. With it, You're broadcasting concentrated intention directly into the quantum field that creates physical reality. That's why step 1 turns your scattered attention into a reality-penetrating laser. But why do you need to feel energy when you just want to move objects? Because here's what Albert Einstein discovered in his classified experiments. His famous equation only described matter-energy conversion. But his hidden research revealed a deeper equation that consciousness equals energy squared times matter. Einstein knew that consciousness is the source of all energy. Step 2. Right now, as you watch this, 37 trillion cells are generating electrical current, strong enough to power LED lights. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than your brain. That's measurable energy extending beyond your skin. Your nervous system carries 120 volts through 100,000 miles of biological wiring. You're living proof of Einstein's hidden equation. But here's what Einstein wrote in his classified journals. The field is the only reality. Matter is simply energy condensed to a slow vibration. He understood that your bioelectric field isn't separate from physical objects. It's the same fundamental energy at different frequencies. When you control your energy field, you control matter itself. But John Wheeler, Einstein's protege, proved something even more shocking. Wheeler demonstrated that observation can change events retroactively. Present consciousness affects past reality through what he called delayed choice quantum mechanics. So if your consciousness can change the past, why can't it move objects in the present? Wheeler worked directly with Einstein on unified field theory before Einstein's death. Their research, classified until 1994, proved that consciousness and electromagnetic fields are interconnected at the quantum level. They discovered that focused consciousness amplifies bioelectric output by 800%. But every ancient culture stumbled onto this hidden truth independently. Chinese Taoists called it qi. Hindu yogis called it prana. Japanese martial artists called it ki. Hawaiian shamans called it mana. They all discovered the same bioelectric energy field that Einstein was studying in secret. Some call it luck, manifesting. Coincidence, but it all comes down to the same thing. But once you awaken it, everything changes. Dr. Robert Becker, orthopedic surgeon and researcher, spent decades documenting the body's electrical systems. He proved that human beings generate measurable electromagnetic fields that extend beyond the skin and can influence electronic equipment. Your energy field is real, measurable, controllable. But Soviet scientists used Kirlian photography to capture images of these energy fields. They documented how emotional states, focus levels, and intention dramatically alter the size and intensity of human bioelectric emanations. When masters demonstrate telekinesis, this is what they're using: the energy ball technique. Right now, wherever you are, hold your hands in front of you, palms facing each other, about 6 inches apart. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Feel the space between your palms. Most people think empty space is actually empty, but quantum physics has proven that the vacuum of space is alive with zero-point energy, infinite potential, waiting to be activated by conscious intention. Right now, as you watch this, every single atom in your body is vibrating at trillions of cycles per second. The chair you're sitting on, the air around you, even the solid walls, everything is in constant motion. You're about to tap into that field. Slowly move your palms toward each other until they're about 3 inches apart. But now imagine, no, don't just imagine. Intend that energy is building between your hands like a ball of concentrated electricity. Breathe into that energy. With each inhale, pull energy up from the earth through your feet, up your spine, down your arms, and into the space between your palms. With each exhale, compress that energy into a smaller, denser ball. Do you feel it yet? At first, it might feel like warmth, then tingling, then pressure, then magnetic resistance, as if you're trying to push 2 magnets together. Some people feel pulsing, others experience a dense, almost solid sensation. That's your bioelectric field responding to conscious direction. But MIT researchers have documented that focused intention creates coherent electromagnetic patterns in the body. When you concentrate on energy between your palms, you're literally reorganizing the quantum field in that space. But here's where it gets incredible. Once you can feel the energy ball, start playing with it, expand it larger, compress it smaller, move it up and down. Feel how it responds to your mental commands like it's a living thing. Because it is a living thing. This isn't just electricity. This is consciousness made to manifest in the physical world. You're experiencing the bridge between mind and matter that mystics have written about for thousands of years. But this is just the beginning. Masters who can move objects at a distance all started with this same exercise. They learned to generate so much energy between their hands that they could feel it even when their palms were 3 feet apart. Some can feel it across the room. But here's your energy development sequence. Week 1. Feel energy between palms at 3-inch distance. Week 2. Maintain sensation at 6-inch distance. Week 3. Generate energy ball at 12-inch distance. Week 4. Project energy across 3-foot space. Month 2. Direct energy toward small objects. By month 2, you'll be ready for object influence. But you need to understand the obstacles that stop most people. Obstacle 1. Trying too hard. Energy responds to relaxed intention, not forced effort. If you strain and push, you'll actually block the flow. Think of it like trying to float in water. The harder you try, the more you sink. But there's more. Your rational mind will try to convince you that what you're feeling is imagination. Ignore that voice. The sensations are real, measurable, and will grow stronger with practice. Therefore, energy work is like physical fitness. You can't build strength by working out once a week. Daily practice for 10 to 15 minutes will create exponential results. But here's the proof it's working. Within 2 weeks of consistent energy training, you'll notice increased sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, ability to sense people's emotional states without looking at them, electronic devices occasionally malfunctioning around you, plants and animals responding differently to your presence. That last one is the key indicator. Animals and plants are naturally sensitive to bioelectric fields. When your energy becomes strong and coherent, pets will be more drawn to you, plants will grow better in your presence, and sensitive people will comment on your presence or energy. This is scientific proof of your developing abilities. But the energy ball is just the foundation. Once you can generate and feel this energy consistently, you're ready for the advanced technique that bridges the gap between feeling energy and directing it toward objects. The energy projection exercise. After you've built a strong energy ball between your palms, slowly extend one hand toward a small, lightweight object. A feather, a piece of paper, anything that can move easily. Project the energy toward the object. Imagine the energy flowing from your palm like an invisible river of electricity. See it reaching the object. Feel it making contact. Intend for the energy to influence the object's position. But don't expect dramatic movement at first. You might notice the slightest tremor, a barely perceptible shift, the tiniest rotation. These micro-movements are how telekinesis begins, with subtle influences that gradually increase as your abilities develop. Remember, every master started here. But there's something even more important. This isn't just about moving objects. When you learn to direct energy consciously, you're developing the fundamental skill for influencing any aspect of reality. Relationships improve, opportunities appear. Your entire life begins reorganizing around your conscious intentions. Because energy follows attention. Whatever you focus your awakened energy upon begins to respond to your presence. This is the secret behind manifestation, the law of attraction, and every other system for creating change through consciousness. But it's all based on the same energy you're learning to control. But energy without direction is just sensation. Focused will without energy is just thought. To create actual change in physical reality, you need the third component, the bridge that connects your awakened energy to specific outcomes. Step 3. The bridge of visualization. Nikola Tesla built his inventions twice, first in his mind, then in reality. He could construct entire machines in his imagination, run them for weeks, test every component, and when he finally built the physical version, Tesla held over 300 patents because he understood something that modern science is only beginning to grasp. Detailed mental imagery creates a template in the quantum field that physical reality tends to follow. Your imagination is a reality construction tool, but 5,000 years ago, Egyptian temple priests knew this secret. They built dream incubation chambers where initiates would visualize desired outcomes in precise detail while in altered states of consciousness. The visions became reality with shocking consistency. These weren't primitive superstitions. These were sophisticated technologies of consciousness that worked so reliably they became the foundation of Egyptian civilization's most closely guarded mysteries. But the principle is simple. Modern quantum mechanics has proven that reality exists in superposition, infinite potential outcomes, until consciousness collapses it into a specific experience through observation and expectation. Your detailed visualizations are quantum instructions. Neuroscientists discovered that the brain cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual physical events. The same neural pathways activate. The same motor cortex responds to fire. To your nervous system, imagination is reality. But Olympic athletes use this principle constantly. Gymnasts mentally rehearse their routines hundreds of times before competition. Basketball players visualize perfect free throws. The result? Performance improvements of 20 to 30% from mental practice alone. But they're only scratching the surface. When you combine Tesla-level visualization with the focused will and awakened energy you've already developed, something extraordinary happens. Your mental images begin manifesting as physical changes in the external world. This is how telekinesis actually works. But tonight, you're going to master the technique that bridges the gap between imagination and manifestation using the simplest possible target, a single feather. This is the operating system of reality itself. But once you experientially understand this truth, not just intellectually, but in every cell of your being, telekinesis becomes as easy as moving your own hand. Integration. The 4 pillars as one temple. Here's what nobody tells you about these 4 steps. Each step you've learned works on its own, but when you combine them, that's when ordinary people start experiencing extraordinary results. You're about to understand why this changes everything. Think about your smartphone for a second. The camera works by itself. The internet works by itself. The GPS works by itself. But when all those systems coordinate together, you can do things that seemed impossible just 20 years ago. Like video, calling someone on the other side of the planet while walking down the street. Your consciousness works the same way. Step 1. Focused attention. This is your mental GPS. It tells the universe exactly where you want your energy to go. Step 2. Awakened energy. This is your internal power source. It provides the fuel that makes things actually happen. Step 3. Detailed visualization. This is your programming language. It gives the universe specific instructions about what you want to create. Step 4. Unity awareness. This is your connection to the network. It removes the interference that normally blocks your signal. When all 4 work together, you become a walking manifestation device. But here's what makes this so powerful. You've already been using these 4 systems your entire life, just not deliberately. Remember those times when everything seemed to go your way, when you were in the zone and opportunities just kept appearing. That was all 4 pillars working together automatically. The difference is that now you can turn it on whenever you want. Sarah from Austin learned this the hard way. She was stuck in a dead-end job, barely paying her bills, feeling completely powerless. Then she started practicing these 4 steps for just 10 minutes every morning. Within 2 weeks, her boss offered her a promotion she hadn't even applied for. Within 6 weeks, a former colleague called with a business opportunity. Within 3 months, she was making more money than she'd ever imagined possible. She didn't get lucky, she got systematic. "It's like I became a magnet for good things," she told me. But the craziest part was realizing I'd always had this power. I just never knew how to use it deliberately. That's what happens when you master the 4-pillar system. Marcus from Phoenix had been trying to improve his health for years. Diets, exercise programs, supplements, nothing worked consistently. Then he applied these 4 steps to his body instead of objects. He focused his attention on perfect health every morning. He directed his awakened energy toward his cells. He visualized his body functioning optimally. He experienced unity with his body's natural healing intelligence. His doctor was amazed when his blood pressure normalized in 3 weeks. His energy levels doubled. His chronic back pain disappeared completely. He discovered that his body responds to consciousness, just like everything else. "I finally understood that my thoughts weren't just random noise in my head," Marcus said. "They were instructions my body was following. When I learned to give better instructions, my body started following those instead." This is the power you're about to unlock. Jennifer from Miami used the 4 pillars to completely transform her financial situation. She was drowning in debt, working 2 jobs, and couldn't see any way out. But instead of trying to move feathers, she focused these techniques on money flow. She concentrated her attention on financial abundance. She activated her energy field around money opportunities. She visualized specific amounts coming to her in specific ways. She felt unity with the flow of abundance in the universe. 3 unexpected checks arrived in the same week, totaling exactly what she needed to clear her debts. A freelance opportunity appeared that doubled her income. Her landlord offered to sell her the apartment she was renting at a price she could actually afford. She went from financial desperation to financial freedom in less than 90 days. The weirdest part, Jennifer said, was realizing that money had been trying to flow to me all along. I was just unconsciously blocking it with my thoughts and feelings. Once I learned to align my consciousness properly, the blocks dissolved. This is what becomes possible when you understand consciousness as technology. But here's the progression you can expect as you develop these abilities. Week 1. Awakening. You'll start noticing that your thoughts affect your environment more than you realized. Electronics might behave differently around you. People will respond to your presence in new ways. You'll have more lucky coincidences. Week 2. Acceleration. The 4 pillars start working together more smoothly. Your manifestations become faster and more precise. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time more often. Week 3. Amplification. Your influence on reality becomes more consistent. People will start asking what's different about you. Opportunities will begin appearing that seem perfectly aligned with your desires. Week 4. Integration. The 4 pillars operate as one natural system. You won't have to think about activating them anymore. They'll run automatically in the background of your consciousness. Month 2 to 3. Mastery. Reality becomes remarkably responsive to your intentions. What used to take months or years to accomplish starts happening in weeks or days. This is when life becomes magical. But here's what makes this even more powerful. As more people learn these techniques, they become easier for everyone to develop. Remember Sheldrake's Morphic resonance research. Every person who masters these abilities makes it simpler for the next person. You're not just learning something new, you're joining a global awakening. Right now, there are over 15 million people around the world who've developed some level of these abilities. Teachers, doctors, engineers, artists, students, ordinary people from every background who've discovered they're far more powerful than they ever imagined. The network is growing exponentially every day. But there's something even more important than personal success. When you develop these abilities, you become living proof that consciousness is more powerful than most people believe. You inspire others just by being yourself. Your transformation gives others permission to transform. Every time you manifest something impossible, you expand what others believe is possible. Every time you demonstrate these abilities, you plant seeds in minds that are ready to grow. But here's the responsibility that comes with this power. These techniques work regardless of your intentions. If you focus on negative outcomes, those will manifest just as readily as positive ones. If you approach this with ego and selfishness, you'll create problems instead of solutions. The universe amplifies whatever you consistently focus on. This is why character development is so important. Not because the techniques won't work without it, but because they work so well that your character determines whether they improve your life or complicate it. Consciousness without wisdom can be dangerous. The good news: the universe has built-in feedback systems. People who use these abilities with harmful intentions find that their results become increasingly unreliable. Those who approach this work with genuine desire to improve their lives and help others discover that their abilities continue expanding indefinitely. The cosmos itself guides your development. But most importantly, remember why this matters. You learning these abilities isn't just about personal success. We're living through the most significant transformation in human history, the awakening of consciousness itself. Every person who develops these abilities contributes to humanity's evolution. For thousands of years, humans evolved through external tools: fire, agriculture, machinery, computers. But the next leap forward isn't technological, it's consciousness-based. The problems facing our world, climate change, social division, economic inequality, can't be solved through technology alone. They require people who understand how consciousness works, who can influence reality directly through organized awareness. They require people like you. So here's what happens next. You stand at a crossroads. You can close this video and go back to believing that consciousness is weak, that you're powerless to change your circumstances, that miraculous results only happen to other people. Or you can claim the power that's always been yours. Tonight's 4-pillar activation, Step 1. Laser focus, 5 minutes. Light a candle and focus on the flame without letting your mind wander. This activates your mental GPS and prepares your consciousness for precision work. Step 2. Energy activation, 3 minutes. Feel the energy building between your palms. This awakens your internal power source and expands your influence beyond your physical body. Step 3. Reality programming, 2 minutes. Visualize your chosen object moving with perfect clarity. This gives the universe specific instructions it can actually follow. Step 4. Network connection, 30 seconds. Experience yourself and the object as one unified system. This removes the interference that normally blocks your manifestations. But this is just the beginning. Start a practice journal tonight. Document every sensation, every tiny movement, every change in your life circumstances. You're about to become your own researcher in the most important experiment you'll ever conduct, the experiment of discovering who you really are. But I want to support you on this journey. Hit that subscribe button and join over 500,000 people who are actively developing these abilities. You'll get advanced techniques, troubleshooting help, and inspiration from others who are walking the same path. In the comments, write, "I am powerful," and tell me which aspect of the 4-pillar system you're most excited to develop. When you publicly declare your intention, you're programming your subconscious mind and connecting to the collective energy of everyone who's committed to consciousness development. My newsletter provides advanced techniques that go way beyond what I can share in public videos. Methods that successful people use, that ancient traditions taught, that modern science is just beginning to understand. Free link in the description. Remember, you're not learning to become powerful. You're learning to remember the power you've always had. You're not developing supernatural abilities. You're discovering that what you thought was natural was actually a tiny fraction of what's possible. You're awakening to your true nature. This moment, right now, as you make the decision to develop these abilities, is the moment your life changes forever. Years from now, you'll look back on tonight as the turning point when you stopped accepting limitations and started creating the reality you actually want. Or you'll look back and wonder what might have been if you'd had the courage to try. The choice is entirely yours. But remember what you've learned. Consciousness shapes reality. Your thoughts have measurable effects, and you have far more influence over your life than you've been taught to believe. You are more powerful than you know. Light that candle. Feel that energy. Program that reality. Join that community. Welcome to the real world, the one where you have power. Subscribe. Comment, I am powerful. Get the advanced materials. Start practicing tonight. Your transformation begins now.